that I wanted to fight here, and they made it happen. So people not looking at acknowledging that, and we got Russell on as the co-promoter, and we got Eric. It wasn't just me by myself. It was business had to be done to make this happen, and it was my call at the final end. What did I want to do? Bob called me personally. Jesse, what do you want to do? And I said I want to work with Russell, and I want to bring it back home, and that's what it was.
Jesse, good luck with the upcoming fight. Speaking of Hank Lundy, what was your reaction to that fight against Terrence Crawford?
I like to talk about the speak on that subject. I think Hank went out there and did his best. I think Hank gave it all he had. I'm not knocking nobody, but when you get up against a guy that can adapt to anything, such as a Terrence Crawford fighter, a bigger guy, a bigger, stronger fighter, a real, true 140-pounder. Hank Lundy is a 35-pounder. I mean, like I said, I'm not taking no credit away from Crawford, but nobody wanted to fight him. And Hank stepped up. That's the Philadelphia Hart. Nobody acknowledged that, and I don't like, that's the part I don't like. People say he got stopped, he did this. People don't acknowledge that Philadelphia Heart. We got Heart. Nobody want to fight somebody we step in the ring with. People don't want to, and that's what I don't like about that.
Would you like, for a time to come, win the title, whatever, to go to Bob Abrams or, Todd DeBoff and say, hey, I want a title fight at the Wells Fargo Center. I mean, Hopkins fought once for a title fight here. Danny Garcia, like you said, doesn't fight here. Would you like to be able to do that and sort of replicate what happened with your dad and Briscoe and those guys back in the day?
This show is setting the trend for that. This show right here is setting the trend for that. I'm bringing boxing back. If nobody else fight here, you guarantee Jesse Hart is going to have a world title fight here. And that's what this show boils down to. That's why we got Pelks on board. That's why my dad is in play. That's why this whole promotion is in for play for after I win a title. It's just a time of win. After I win a title, I'm bringing it back to Philadelphia. I refuse to fight in other people's hometowns and cities and give everybody else a play. When I got my own fan right here, if Terrence Crawford do it, why not Jesse Hart should do one?
Right. Jesse, what, if anything, did you do differently during training for this fight?
Man, basically nothing, man. We've been just doing what we do. We haven't seen me lose a round yet. So when I lose a round, then I change up my training regimen. Then I stop getting up at 5 in the morning and getting out there on that Kelly Drive. Rain, sleet, hella snow, I'm out there. You bet your ass, you come out there, I'm out there running. It's not until I get beat, until I lose a round, matter of fact, I will not change my training regimen. Danny Davis, Fred Jenkins, my father, Corey McDonald, my whole team that's my team. And I haven't done different, nothing different this training camp, nothing. You gotta beat me how I am first. We gotta see what they can deal with, how Jesse Hart reacts to losing a round first. Jesse Hart has yet to lose a round in the professional boxing ranks.
What do you think will happen when you're in a fight? Because it's going to happen, and you lose a round, or you're having a bad fight, you're having a tough night. You've had a good run, so it's going to happen. Are you ready for that, and how do you prepare yourself for something
I feel like
that?
People don't understand. By me losing my brother Damon to the streets and the success, I feel like I lost already. And I kept fighting, I prevailed. I kept prevailing. I'm here today before you guys, and I stand before you guys, and I see I'm here prevailing. I stood up to adversity. I stood up to some tremendous adversity in my lifetime. Like I said, my brother got killed in the streets due to the street violence. My mother, nervous breakdowns. We had to deal with that, in and out of hospitals with that. I dealt with adversity with my own family. Most people would break. Most people would fold. Most people would run and tuck their tail between their legs. Not Jesse. I stood up and I prevailed. That's something that don't happen with just heart. That's mental. That's mental toughness. That's something deep within yourself that you gotta find when there's no place to find it at. You gotta find it within yourself, and I found it.
Jesse, there's a super middleweight title fight on April 9th. One of your top-ranked stablemates, Gilberto Ramirez, is fighting Abraham. Does that fight interest you? You gonna keep tabs on that fight? And how close are you think you are to fighting maybe the winner of that fight?
The mandatory. Like I just said, they can't get around me now. So I'm definitely going to be keeping close tabs in that fight. Carl Moretti was just in the locker room. I don't know where he's at exactly. He said we the mandatory after this fight. So no matter who wins, Gilberto or Arthur Abraham, Jesse is next. Jesse is next for the world title. I'm rated number 3 by the WBO. It don't matter. Whoever wins out of them two, Jesse Hart gets his title shot next. So I'm definitely going to be keeping close tabs on that fight because it's my time. You know what I mean? We all know I'm the mandatory. You look at the stats, Jesse is the mandatory challenger for the WBO after Gilberto Ramirez and Arthur Abrams. I'm the mandatory. They can't get around me.
Do you have a prediction or a thought on that fight?
No matter who wins, I just know they got to fight me.
You know, is this a second era, possible era of golden era for Philadelphia boxing? Because Billion Williams is now in line for a title shot. Eric Hunter is apparently going to get one over in England. You know, you're going to be in line for one. Danny Garcia's already got one. I mean, is the mystique of the Philadelphia boxer still what it used to be back in the day?
You can say that, but then you can't say that because none of them guys is fighting here. See, when you had that age, you just talked about, you had the George Bennett, the Gypsy Joe Harris, you know, the Jesse Smith. We was at the Blue Horizon, we was at the Spectrum. We was hungry and we was coming, and they knew we was coming, and they knew they wouldn't come here, and nobody wanted to fight us. Now you got to go there, you got to go over here, you got to go up there to fight them, and now it's just like, you know, I want to bring it back here. I want that golden age. I want everybody back here. This why I did this, because I want all the fights back here.
Do you feel that it takes the fighter to insist that happens? Because a lot of times, you talk to a fighter and say, well, you know, I'm not calling
Speak up. He's got to. Well, my whole thing, they can't speak. They can't call the shots. Jesse Hart, I get on the phone with Bob, and Bob make it happen every time. Like I said, I'm Bob, and Bob is me. That's how we gonna work that. That's how you know. Whatever Bob say, I say, whatever you want to do, kid. He always say that. He tell me the rights, the wrongs, and the negatives. Like I said, I took a pay cut on this fight because I was supposed to fight on a February 27th card and come back and fight on a Pacquiao card. Disrupt everything. Called Bob, said we gotta make it happen in Philadelphia. I did an interview with George, the mouthpiece. And I told him I was gonna fight him in March on the interview, and I didn't want nobody to say I'm a liar, and I didn't want nobody to call me out on that. So we made it happen. And like I said, Russell Coates was a tremendous part of it. He made it happen. I mean, teamwork together. Like I said, the Al Haymans and this one don't want to work with each other, and that one don't want to work with each other. It's about working with each other and putting the best fights together for the people. Russell Coates and Bob Arum has done that. I mean, we work together and we get tremendous shows like this already sold out. Week early, sold out. 2 weeks early, we sold out. Thank you, Russell. Have we ever got a response like this, Russell?
Brittany Rogers and you did it.
Never had a response like this in the history of Philadelphia showing. In this era, I can say, 2 weeks early, we sold out.
Because of your eagerness to fight in Philadelphia fight in Philadelphia, you know, Hopkins has been like the main banner carrier for Philadelphia boxing for a long time.
Legendary.
Yeah, do you see yourself as not the prime candidate to slip into that role and be the face of Philadelphia boxing?
Well, I don't want to do it like him. I'm not going to necessarily say I want to be Bernard Hopkins. I want to be the first Jesse Hart. I want to be the face of boxing, period. I don't want nobody to discredit me or talk down on me. And like I said, I'm doing things my way. And then, it was a famous quote by Muhammad Ali, I ain't going to be the champ the way you want me to be the champ. I'm going to be the champ the way I want to be. And the same thing how I want to think. You know what I mean? Call shots like this before you now. I fought here, I came here and I fought. People can say that's not big, but and then if you look at it in Philadelphia, then they say, well, you know, why can't Danny Garcia or somebody do it like this? Everybody's saying a guy named Al Haymon name, but nobody's utilizing what they can. So, is you really talking to him, or is you going through another guy, or you going through another guy, and they calling shots? And then I call Bob up, we call Russell up, and we all come together, and we make a show like this happen. Tremendous show.
Speaking of Bob, there's a lot of talk behind the scenes in boxing, and I've heard a lot of rumors that maybe Bob's not in the business of making African-American boxing stars. And Floyd, you know, he always talks about how he left Bob and bought his freedom from Bob and became a star after that. What is your point of view on working with Bob as a promoter?
I think that's a false, my experience, my own experience. Certain people he said certain people were born to be boxing stars and certain people were born to be superstars. Mayweather approach, Bob told me this personally in his office. Mayweather's approach was not what he was looking for at that time. He was looking to sell Oscar, the Golden Boy, Smile, Gold. First Mexican on the Beatty box was Oscar De La Hoya. First Mexican on the Wheatie box was Oscar De La Hoya. Bob told me, put that together. You know, his approach, Mayweather he wanted that, the fame of everything that, and his approach was just, wasn't what it was looking for. He wanted to be a brash fighter, be a flamboyant fighter, and that approach it just wasn't ready for that time. And then he broke out from Bob, and it worked for him. But who did it work against him? Who did it work for him against him? We didn't know nothing about Floyd Mayweather until he really fought Oscar De La Hoya. And we really wanted, and those are both fighters that Bob built from the ground up. The list goes on. Ray Leonard.
Terrence Crawford's African American.
Terrence Crawford is African American as well. But such with that kid, it's boxing stars and they're superstars. You know what I mean? You gotta know how to talk when you get in front of that camera. You gotta have a great smile. It's different characteristics. And Bob said, I got them all. And he's gonna utilize them, every last one of them I got. He said, you're not a boxer. He said, we can do many things with you. You're not a boxing star. Get that out your mind. Just winning the title. I tell certain fighters that, then I tell certain fighters they got the total package, the hit factor, the superstarness, be able to dance with the stars after this career is over.
How important is it to be a Philadelphia fighter who wants to fight in Philadelphia at a time when the Phillies stink, the Sixers stink, the Eagles are in transition, Flyers may not make the playoffs. That boxing, hey, look, let's take a look at a sport that helped make the city to begin with.
That's why we came up with the Heart of the City. Tell them. That's when we came up with the Heart of the City. Everybody stink, everybody's doing something, nobody's doing nothing. You got Jesse Hart here, the Heart of the City. That's how we did it. You know what I mean? I'm the one that stand for my city. I'm not looking at the Eagles, we're not looking at the Sixers, we're not looking at the Flyers. It's all up to me. You know what I mean? And I bring it back to my city. So we got to acknowledge that, man. You know what I mean? I'm here to make a Philly stand. This is not just, like I said, this is not just for money. This is not just for, this is to make a Philly stand, man. You know what I mean? Tell everybody that Philadelphia has the best athletes as far as boxing in the world.
Why is that? What does Philly do different than the amateurs and coming up in Philly that makes the best boxers that other cities don't do? Preferably together.
Toughness, the toughness of every area in North Philly. Well, I'm from North Philly. I'm from 28th and Birch. Let's make that clear now. That was the roughest, the roughest area in Philadelphia to me is down there. I mean, it was just rough, man. It was just rough. And then, for my dad to be a fighter, that made it tough. My dad to be a good fighter at that. Everybody wanted to take the shot at you, kid. We want to see you know what your dad knows. Let's go. Where you at? And I'm no sucker. My name Hart. So we going rumble. And that's what it is. Don't matter what you're going to do. If I see you every day, you want this work, we going rumble. And that's what made the toughness and the greatness of Philadelphia, the poverty-stricken areas so tough. And we had all the great fighters.